Every morning is an opportunity to connect with Jesus. Whether you're looking to get started or looking to grow more, DDPC is for you. Join us as we connect with Jesus together.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being a part of this morning's morning devotion. This is Pastor Chris. You have reached DDPC, Daily Devotions with Pastor Chris, and it is our joy to have you. Good morning, Kate and Elizabeth and Sarah and Kim and Narda and Tom and Esther. God bless all of you guys. Welcome, Anita. Thanks for being on Instagram this morning. I would like to also say hi to Kim Zabrowski and Eileen Toma and Elizabeth Hibbert and Rich Papsco and Deb Click and Matt Gill and Jessica Ragazine and Michelle Rodriguez and Melissa Yerington, Susan Hotchkiss, Donato Rubino, Heather Onofrio. God bless you guys. Welcome and thank you for being faithful and tuning in every day to this channel. If you are a guest here today or you found us by mistake, maybe live or on replay, this is just a quick morning devotion to kind of get your spirit in the right place and to get you focused on some principles of the Word of God that will help you in your daily life. And so that is what we're about. That's what we do. And we've got a great community out there that really just love each other and love the Lord. If you are part of our church, if you're part of Cornerstone Church in Oxford, Connecticut, I'd like to ask you to take a moment, if you haven't already. Right there, there's a scan code. If you are on Facebook or on YouTube, you can see that. You cannot see it on Instagram, but if you could scan that code and just help us by updating all of your database information, that would be tremendously helpful to us. We are resetting, doing a hard reset on all of our communications at the church, so that we are up to date. COVID really took us, knocked us off. We've got a whole bunch of new people that we don't know where you came from, and we got several people that have left and don't know where you went. And so that's just kind of the nature of how things roll out in a pandemic. And so like I'm an expert in pandemics or something, but good to see you, Diane Riley, Tina, nice to have you. Cindy, thanks for being on. Good morning, Dad. Nice to have you on as always. Renee, good to see you as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Timothy Jones, blessings to you, my friend. God bless you. Nancy, welcome, welcome. So, all right, well, today, hey, Sandy, thanks for being on Insta. Good to see you too. We are going to jump right in. What is up, Mel, Lutrell Pinto, Melissa and her husband are pastors in Brooklyn, and James, and we love them so much, and they're doing a great work there. Mel used to work with me in youth ministry years ago and was a tremendous help. So anyway, thank you for tuning in today, Mel. Good to see you on. Rich Papsco just joined on. Paula Lavish just joined us on Instagram. Thank you. Thanks for the love. Woo! Interesting. We're talking about love this week. So hey, Andrew Lavish, good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Well, let's jump right in. So we've been on a serious. That's what we've been on. Dave and Laura, welcome. Thanks for being on. Joe Duhamel just jumped on. Jessica, good to see you. And so we've been on this series about Valentine's Day. Okay, and so we're calling it Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. And the idea here is when in context of love, relationship, understanding, being a part of, and participating in a relationship, we need to be in it to stay. We shouldn't be in it for selfish ambition. You're not in it so that it's a one-sided endeavor, but that you are invested into the us of your life. And and I often say this when I conduct marriages. I say, this new life that you're about to lead is no longer I or my, but now it's we and ours. And everything about your life is shared. And so it's important that you're investing into the us and not just into the the I or the me. Good to see you. Athena, nice to have you on. Tanya, A to the J, just saw AJ at the gym. Good to see you again online. Welcome, buddy. And so I want to just talk to you. So we're in the fourth installment, and this will be the last installment of this little series on Happy Valentine's Day. And today I want to talk on the subject of forgiveness. On forgiveness. It is important that in a relationship, whether dating, even friendships, but especially in a marriage, that you can be a generous forgiver. You know, we talk about being generous givers, but we need to be a generous forgiver. There's a survey that was taken of 65 married couples that had been married for 50 years or more. Okay, 65 couples that had been married for 50 years or longer. Ralph Harris asked them to relate a fault of their spouse that aggravated them. So of these 65 couples that had been married for 50, they'd had their golden anniversary, 50 years or more, right? When they're asked the question to name a fault that your spouse that aggravates you, 25% of those 65 couples left it blank. 22% wrote in the word none. One person wrote, love covers a multitude of sins. So 48% of these couples had learned to overlook their spouse's faults. A good marriage, a healthy relationship requires two good forgivers. We've got to be good at looking past our faults. And now that doesn't mean you don't acknowledge the problems. Look, we often say this, is that there's no such thing as a perfect marriage, because a marriage is made up of imperfect people. Every single one of you on this stream, we have strengths and we have weaknesses. We have faults in our life. We have areas that are growth areas, and some of us have tempers. Some of us have habitual problems and bad habits. Excuse me, I got the hiccup. Some people, carry a lot of baggage from their past. Some people carry some fears. Whatever. We all have things that we're bringing into the relationship, so we can't just stuff that down and ignore the problems. We've got to acknowledge it. Some couples will act like nothing ever happened after a big blow up. They had this huge fight, and then it's just like, let's just pretend that didn't happen. And they'll come in, happy and talkative, like nothing ever happened. But the subtle clue is that you don't ever bring that subject up again, or they make up for it with a gift or doing something special, but there's never an apology. There's never an addressing of wrong. There's just let's just cover it over with a gift, or with an ignoring, or with a stuffing it down. And that's not healthy. We, as in human nature, we need to be able to communicate, and we talked about communication a lot yesterday, but we need to learn to communicate the faults in the person that we love. It doesn't mean that you're trying to pull out every bad thing that they ever do, but you got to be able to talk when there's a problem. So and then we need to learn to be able to forgive and let go of anger. That's what forgiveness means. When something happens and it sparks anger, right? We need to learn to let go of the anger. We address the problem, but not angry. Attempt to not repeat the offense. If you're the offender, listen. This is the part of communication. Remember, there's the communication and the act of listening, and so as you're listening, determine that, okay, I did this before, and that created a negative response in my spouse. So I'm going to do my best to not communicate negatively to them. I'm not going to repeat the offense. And so someone has to do the Christian thing here, right? Let's start with humbling ourselves. And, Jesus taught in the Beatitudes that if you want to win, you got to lose, right? You want to gain your life, you got to lose it. And so what he's saying is, if you lose, you win. Some people some people will want to be right. They stand on this thing that I am right. And because I don't care if the whole house of cards comes tumbling down, I'm going to be right. And sometimes compromise is better than being right. You can still be right, but learn to forgive. And sometimes your goal in your rightness, like really standing your ground and being right, is actually making you wrong in other areas of your life. There was one little girl who said to her mom, she said, "What do people say? What do people say when they get married, Mom?" And she said, "They promise to love and be kind to each other." And that little girl naively said, "You're not always married, are you, Mom?" And so the implication here is that she's not always kind to her spouse. If love is equated to being kind to each other and to promise to love, if that's what it means to get married, then you must not be married, because you're not showing love and kindness. And of course that's an extreme and a little bit of humor, but showing kindness is very, very important. There's a man, this true story. There's a man by the name of, and forgive me if I can pronounce this correctly, because it's Turkish, but his name is Suleiman Gureski, and he's from Izmir, Turkey. And after 21 years of marriage, he divorced his wife in a 6-year court battle. Okay, took 6 years. In an effort to find the ideal woman, Suleiman turned to computer dating. Ironically, out of a list of 2,000 prospective brides, the computer selected his former wife as his best choice for him. He responded to this information by deciding to remarry his wife 9 months after they had divorced. He said, "I didn't know that my ex-wife had been the ideal counterpart for a marriage. I decided to give it another try by being more tolerant toward her." Guys, the ideal mate may just be the one that you're already married to. Look, there is no perfect person, and sometimes your spouse might drive you absolutely insane. But could it be that you are the absolute perfect person for that spouse, and that the chemistry that God has supernaturally developed between the two of you will help that person to be the best version of them that they possibly can? So sometimes it just takes us getting past the frustration, laying our anger aside, addressing the elephant in the room, talking about it in a calm and in a collected way, and making a new commitment to our spouses to rekindle the passion. You remember we talked about Revelation 2 verse 4 yesterday and the day before, when Jesus said to the church of Ephesus, he said, "Look, you guys have got a lot going on and you look the part, but you have lost sight of your first love. You have lost sight of what was exciting in the beginning when I first entered into this relationship with you." And I like this. Andrew says, "I may be Mr. Right, but Paula is Mrs. Always Right." And that's well said, my friend. And so guys, the thing is that Jesus was saying, get back to the way things used to be. Pastor JC and I were talking yesterday a little bit, and we were talking about he and Wendy have not been married for a very long time. 4 or 5 years they've been married. 6 years, I don't know exactly, but for a while. And we were just talking about all the different stages they've gone through from, now they have 2 kids and they have a home and, and all these things. And we were talking about finances and struggle and the different phases that you go through in your life. And man, I will tell you, I remember with Jeanette, we've been through a lot, man. We have been through a lot. I mean, more than most people even know or would ever have an inkling. A lot of people look at us and say, "Oh, we have this cute little marriage," and listen, our marriage is great. It is great, and our love for each other has always been strong. but it has not been without struggle, man. We have had struggle. We have faced some big giants in our life and in our ministry. And I've shared this many times, and I will. It's just been a hallmark moment, and I don't mean that in the channel or the card, but like the true word of hallmark. It's just one of those moments that just kind of anchored us together. But I remember when we were going through a really dark time at the church early on in our pastorate here at Cornerstone. I remember when Jeanette was just diagnosed with cancer. We were faced with trying to figure out how to get at we were renting a house, and the landlord was selling the house. And so, here we are. My wife's got cancer. I've got 3 little kids. We're having a really hard time. We were financially strapped like you would not believe. It was both of our cars were down. It's just like her wedding ring got stolen. Like it just was on and on and on. And I was so beat up in that stage in life, and when I needed to be strong for my wife who was going through cancer. And she looked at me one day. We sat on the couch, and she just put her hand on my shoulder and she said, "Honey, I just want you to know, me, you, and Jesus can get through anything together." And man, I know that sounds so simple, but it really is that simple, and we a lot of times when we are counseling with couples, we talk about the triangle, and we say, like if the husband's over here and the wife is over here, and you want to get closer, you both need to be focused on Jesus. And if Jesus is up here, the closer that you get to Jesus as individuals, the closer you will inevitably get to each other. And that's so true. You and your spouse and Jesus, if you keep Jesus at the center, man, you can get through anything, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in this world. That there's no weapon formed against you that will prosper. What God has put together, let no man put asunder. And so you begin to lean in on those things, and you begin to find strength in each other instead of elevating your weaknesses. And how many of you are willing to do this? Let's take time. Take time this week. I would venture to say that some of you are struggling with your spouses right now. And I know, especially if you are in an unequally yoked situation where your spouse is not a follower of Christ, it's particularly challenging. But you can still have all of the attributes of Christ. You can still bring Christ into your marriage. They may not realize it, but the things that they're going to love about you the most are those attributes, because he is love. So true love, right? If he or she, I'm making some bad assessments here, but no matter if your spouse is the husband or the wife, you can, if you're bringing Christ into it, maybe covertly, maybe just as Christ is shining through you. But if Christ is love, the love that they're going to be attracted to is going to be Christ in you. And so do your best to forgive. Do your best. It doesn't mean ignore. You address it, but you address it in love, and learn to forgive. And try to be our best to prop each other up and help each other through the hard times, and it will make the great times more frequent and more fabulous. All right, guys, that is it. All I got for today, and that's all I got for this week. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope that listen, maybe you're on and you're single, and you felt like left out in this series. Understand these principles work not just in marriage, they work in dating, they work in friendships. They work in relationships with your family. They work in your relationship with your kids if you're a single parent, or it's all still the same stuff, just packaged a little different depending on the person in which you're engaged with. So anyway, I pray that that's a blessing to you. I pray that you have a great, amazing day, and that is fruitful, and that you get a lot accomplished today. It's going to be nice today, man. It's already like in the mid 40s. Is like I feel like it's summer heat. It's awesome. So God bless you guys. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you on Sunday. God bless. Bye-bye.